Hey everybody, today another lesson on operating your red dot for a beginner, how to get good with your pistol mounted optic so that it does what you need it to do and you can wring every advantage out of the dot. Today's video is brought to us by Mantis. The Mantis family of products is integral to ASP staff building handgun and carbine skills and are your most economical and fastest path to improvement in your skills too. Whether you choose the X10, the Laser Academy, the Blackbeard, or use them all in concert, they will help your practice be more effective, efficient, and fun. Go check them out, pick up a unit, and thank them for sponsoring today's video. Make sure that you've watched the previous ones because these lessons are cumulative, okay? And they are gonna build on one another, and if you don't catch the earlier ones, you are gonna have a hard time as we come through here. I'm using my carry gun today. This is my LTT Elite P30. Hasn't earned a name yet, should, but hasn't. So anyhow, we know we have an empty gun. We're using dry practice today because much of learning the dot you can do in dry practice. We've already worked on presenting. Now we wanna work on triggering the gun. Why? Because again, we say grip is the master, sights set the pace, trigger is the servant. And so we want to work on making sure though that the optic is telling us what we need, because I see a lot of people, they'll put the optic out there. Yes, I've got the dot. And then they go, okay. And then I press the trigger and the bullet goes low left for you right-hand shooters, low right for lefties, or it goes God knows where. They say, man, I see the dot, John. I absolutely see the dot. And then the bullet goes, I don't have any idea where. What that almost always means is in your grip, you are gripping with your whole hand when you're pressing the trigger. You're gripping with your whole hand. So the number one way that we teach people to get away from this has nothing to do with the sights and everything to do with using a little bit of pinky power. So if you grip with your pinkies hard on the bottom of the gun and grip with both pinkies, almost always that problem evaporates. Or at least it lessens significantly. So try that first. The other part of this is so many people, if you are on the ASP Unlimited app, go watch Carrie Dudenhofer's Extreme Pistol Precision class. She'll explain this in some significant detail. I'd really recommend that. What we see people do is they see their sights, their finger is on the trigger, and then when they go to trigger the gun, their brain goes to make the trigger happen, and they literally turn their eyes off. They stop seeing, and that lets the gun move all over the place, and then the bullet goes, I don't know where. So what you have to do as a pistol-mounted optics dot person now is that you are going to see those sights, and your goal is to see the sight lift straight from where you have it. So it's sitting there, it's doing a little wobble, it's gonna wobble, there's nothing you're gonna do about that. So it's wobbling acceptably over the target, it's doing the target thing and it's wobbling there, and you want it to stay there, and you're watching intently, watching it and making the decision. I am not going to let this shot fly if the wobble is outside my acceptable target zone, and then you're going to start pressing the trigger. In the beginning, you're going to use Carrie's mantra, keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing. When you do this in dry fire, what will happen then is keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing, is that the dot doesn't move when the shot breaks. That was a particularly good shot. It dipped the tiniest bit. It probably dipped, I'm looking at a target that's 7 yards away. It probably dipped, I don't know, 2/3 of an inch or something at that length. Okay, so there's my dot. Now I'm gonna trigger, keep pressing, and it stayed dead set there. Okay, so that's what I wanna see. I wanna see that, keep pressing, add pressure to my trigger, add pressure while I'm keeping the dot there. When you go to do this live fire, then what you wanna see is that keep pressing, and then the dot lifts, and you can see where it lifted from. And then you can call the shot and know exactly where that shot was. So you were right here, boom, it lifts up, and you go, that's where that shot was. So if I'm the target, right, and so let's just say it was hovering right here, and you go, okay, it was there, boom, and then your dot goes whoop and lifts up from here. You go, nope, that's exactly where it hit, because I know it didn't go bing and go from there. So how do I work on my trigger with this? Well, listen guys, you know, I love my Mantis X10, and I think the Mantis X10 is super good at this. This is exactly what the benchmark is for, right? How still is your muzzle when the shot breaks? And the dot will tell you. See, the challenge with the dot sometimes is it gives you so much information that it gets information overload for people. Use it to say, stay on the target and stay there and keep pressing, and the dot stays right where it is while the shot breaks. Keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing. Now, if you don't have an X10, I get it. You just make sure that you have to be totally honest with yourself that you saw and you're focused on your vision, focused on what the dot is doing, and that it is on that target when you hear the click. Not, it's on the target, click, Okay, and again, watch the difference here. So if I'm out here like this and I go, oh, okay, there it is, now I trigger the gun. You see the quake in my muzzle? That's exactly what I'm talking about. So if I'm too soft here on my hands and I go bang, and then it went way up and around in weirdness, that's what we don't want to see. Instead, again, there it is, keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing, and it doesn't quake like that. It doesn't do that. That will help you then to understand that this is what I need to see in my dot because it's gonna tell me where it goes. This is a combination of shot calling and triggering the gun intentionally to make it do what you want. Now that said, once I'm here, if I for instance, you know, I'm on an external 2x6 here on my house, it's a good bullet stop, okay? So if I know I've got a little bit of slop here and I go, oh, okay, I have to press the trigger quickly, then I can still do that. And it did quake around a little bit. That one would have been ever so slightly righter. But again, if I'm aiming at an 8-inch target at 7 yards instead of here, it would have been here. Okay, which would have been a perfectly acceptable hit. Whereas if I need to hit a head box target at 25 yards or something like that, now I'm sitting out here, see it, keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing, and the gun didn't move at all because I deliberately pressed the trigger. If you do that, see your dot and keep it there until the entire shot breaks. You have made an absolute decision that it's going to do so. Now the dot gives you the right amount of information, and when that shot breaks, it will then lift, and we'll talk about controlling the recoil in the next lesson.